Paul Solomon, July 7, 1936 to March 4, 1994, was a philosopher, a prophet, and a channeler on the spiritual world. He agreed with the mystical thought of Emanuel Swedenborg, Andrew Jackson Davis, Edgar Cayce, and so on. And, channeling to the existence called the Source, he told about the world before the Atlantis, health, religion, sexual desire, the future of the earth, etc. Let's introduce the prophecies about the pole shift of Mr. Paul Solomon from the article of the Intellectual Curiosity Door Tokena. Prophecies of Paul Solomon. Paul Solomon also warned of the occurrence of a pole shift and natural disasters due to a pole shift. Mr. Takeki Yamada, the author of The God's Schedule and paranormal phenomenon researcher, mentioned the meaning that the time is wrong, but the content is quite right as a result of examining the prophecies of Paul Solomon before. Solomon's prophecies are characterized by the association with pole shift and dimension rise, ascension. Moreover, they tell the theory that the humans are screened at that time and how they are sorted in what way. The explanation is beyond the imagination of an ordinary person, but, on the other hand, it is also certain that it is strangely logical. In this respect too, Solomon's prophecies are very unique. Regarding his reading, I have referred to Earth Changes and the New Planet Earth 1980. Due to dimension rise, human body changes from the root. He says by reading, the dimensionality is being added to this world. It happens first in the dimension of consciousness and gradually descends to the substance world. He tells that the people, who adapt to it, will reduce substances which they take on their bodies, and go into greatly expanded dimensions. Paul Solomon explains the human's transformation as follows. You do not throw away the body here. Suddenly you will know the substance's body and the light body and turn heavy and dense substances into light. You will lose nothing about the body and will not leave a dead body after then. You will change what is dead into what is alive. So then, you will be in existence more living than ever before. Solomon also says in another expression that there will be no difference between the flesh and the spirit. The separation between the spirit and the flesh no longer exists, everything takes a new dimension. It seems that some star plays a decisive role in this dimension rise. He predicts the situation that a comet or dwarf invades the solar system almost at the same time as the pole shift occurs. Whether it is planet Nibiru or not is not clear from his reading. Apparently, it seems that whether we can tune to the energy of this star or not will be a division of fate. 7 Chakras and Kundalini of the human body. His reading points out the similarity between the Earth's axis and the spinal cord of the human body, as the Earth is more expressive of the human body. Here he refers to Kundalini. We call the concept equivalent to Chinese Qi as prana in India. Speaking in modern day, is it cosmic energy? We call it Kundalini, which exists in the human body. In yoga and mysticism, there are 7 chakras in the human body, spirit body. It is said that they are tied in a straight line while winding a spiral through the backbone. This chakra is also said to be related to superpowers. For example, if Agwagnaka chakra at the forehead is developed, a so-called third eye will open and you will be able to get clairvoyance ability. Located in the base of the spinal column is Muladhara chakra. On the other hand, Sahasrara chakra is at the top of the head. In yoga, it seems that there is a possibility that life energy rises from the former chakra and it leads to the top of the head at a stroke. Technique of doing it artificially is called Kundalini yoga. Originally, it is said that it is desirable that a chakra of caudal bones and a chakra of the crown part connect and awaken in a natural form, as 7 chakras blooming in turn along with a steady spirituality training. However, some people aimed at direct connection themselves, due to aiming too much at acquiring supernatural power and experiencing mystery. As a result, Kundalini yoga technique was born, but this is considered a very dangerous act to the human body. In fact, there are many reports that they had destructive effects on the spirit and the body. According to a certain experienced person, the inside of the head was in a state of runaway and it went on the verge of going on crazy. Apparently, according to Solomon, it seems that this dangerous phenomenon will be forcibly caused. The destiny day when human beings are sorted out by forced Kundalini. Let me explain in detail what it means. Although I do not know whether it is a planet or a comet, Solomon predicts that some star approaches and emits some light, electromagnetic wave, towards the Earth. It is said to cause a tremendous natural disaster on the Earth. Especially it seems to have tremendous influence on both the Earth's axis and the human spine's axis. That is, it means that it becomes a factor of pole shift in the Earth's axis. On the other hand, in the human body that is the microcosm, it causes forced Kundalini, he says we, omission, want you to know the meaning of this light coming in this age. First of all, regard the comet or the Earth as the human body expressed more largely. Then, regard the coming comet as a flame, compared to Kundalini rising through the Earth's chakra and the spinal cord in the aim of overflowing that light with the light of Christ. In other words, neither the Earth nor our human beings have any right to choose the situation where energy is poured into the axis. In the human body, Kundalini is going to rise rapidly through the spinal cord. In other words, everyone is forced to do dangerous act comparable to Kundalini yoga. In fact, Solomon says that human beings are screened by this. His prophecies are unique in the point that he emphasizes this pole shift of humans. If you are ready for the rising light, the human body will be united with God. But if you are not ready for it, the human body will be destroyed by the same rising light energy. Do you understand what is the effect? With the arrival of light in this era and the approach of this sphere to the Earth, you will get those consciousness in sync with the light of Heavenly Father. You will get God's creative power incorporated as those instruments. And you will absorb Heavenly Father's energy into yourselves. Then, your consciousness will be enhanced to a new and higher stage. Omission, the people who are malignant in mind and those who disapprove of higher growth and salvation of this planet will be destroyed completely by the healing hands. He explains as follows. In other words, even if we receive radiation of exactly the same energy from the approaching star, those who can synchronize with it get closer to God. On the other hand, those who do not reach that level will be destroyed in reverse. Moreover, those who cannot bear this forced Kundalini apparently seem to have a tragic fate. Of course, they fall into fear and panic. And they are driven to destructive behavior. Because of the confusion of your mind and because you cannot face the power that springs up in the body, you will see that the suicide and the slaughter of life on earth dramatically increases. In other words, the destiny such as insanity, suicide, killing, etc. is waiting for you. In this way, humans are forced to be divided by people with high spirituality and those who are low. So then, Solomon warns us in prophecies as follows. When this sphere of light comes closest to this earth, please open yourself and drink this light completely. The dimension rise, Ascension, is waiting for those who have passed this transit ritual. Above quoted from the Intellectual Curiosity Door Tokena. Prophecies of Lucia dos Santos. In July 1917, Virgin Mary appeared to 3 children in Fatima, Portugal, and they were entrusted with 3 Fatima's prophecies. Lucia dos Santos, one of 3 children, was entrusted from Virgin Mary with prophecies about the pole shift such as Paul Solomon in January 1944. Around 2014, the Carmelite Santa Teresa Abbey in Coimbra City, Portugal, to which Lucia dos Santos belonged until she passed away, published the Lucia's diary. On August 17, 2014, Italian famous Fatima scholar Antonio Socci translated a part of the diary into Italian and published it on his blog. According to the diary, on January 3, 1944, when Lucia was praying in a praying room, Virgin Mary appeared to her. And while waking up, she experienced the following things. I have seen and heard, the tip of the spear as a flame that comes off, touches the axis of the earth, and it shakes. The mountains, cities, towns, and villages with their inhabitants are buried. The seas, the rivers, and the clouds come out of the limits, overflow, and become floods. Then whirlwinds and tornadoes wind up houses and people, in a number that cannot be counted, and take them away. It is the purification of the world from the sin in which the world is immersed. The hate and ambition cause a destructive war. Let's interpret Lucia's experience. Clearly, this purification of the world represents the purification by gigantic tsunamis, whirlwinds, and tornadoes caused by the pole shift. In addition, the destructive war refers to the World War III. Also, about the meaning that the tip of the spear is a flame that comes off, touches the axis of the earth, and it shakes. Would it be that a light beam is radiated on the earth's axis and the pole shift occurs? Anyway, the earth is now at the end of the time. In the near future, we will surely experience the hardships we have never experienced before. Let's just prepare for natural disasters that we can only do. Finally, I tried to reproduce the sunset sky reflecting the influence of planet Nibiru and Mars observed on the 40.5 degree north latitude in Japan in the evening of September 20, 2016 to the crimson color that I actually watched as much as possible. Please remember the crimson sunset sky that reflected the influence of planet Nibiru seen in the summer of 2016.